What's up, guys? This is the network back with another video, and today we are talking about how to remove charge-offs from your credit report fast and effectively in 2025. This video is for educational purposes only, but yes, we do offer this entire process as a done-for-you service under the Mentorship Program. If you're someone who wants this handled the right way the first time, with no back and forth and no guesswork, you can message the network on Discord for full execution help, mentorship access, and one-on-one communication. But for those of you that want to understand how the process works and why it works, this video will walk you through every single step from start to finish in full detail. Now let's talk about why charge-offs matter so much in the first place. A charge-off is not just an unpaid debt, it is the highest level of delinquency that can appear on a credit file besides a bankruptcy. It usually shows up after a creditor has decided they won't be collecting from you, they close the account and report it as a charge-off. That means it's dead in their system, but still very much alive and damaging in your credit report. And even if you pay a charge off, it doesn't go away. It just updates to paid or settled, but it still remains visible and continues to lower your score. That's why we don't focus on settling, we focus on full deletion. To get a charge off removed, you need to understand how the dispute system actually works, because this is not about arguing that you didn't owe the money. This is not about proving that the balance is fake. This is about verifying whether the account is reported accurately and whether the information can be verified under law, and if it can't, it has to be deleted. That's the law under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, specifically under Section 623 and Section 611, which we'll break down later in this video. Before we get into the steps, let's talk about the different types of charge-offs you might be dealing with and how they behave differently. On a credit report, you have high balance charge-offs, which are typically accounts over $1,500. These are more likely to trigger a lawsuit because creditors are more likely to try and recover the money through court action. You also have low balance charge-offs, which are usually under $1,500. These are the most common, and they're usually easier to dispute and delete because creditors are less aggressive about pursuing smaller amounts. Then there are paid and settled charge-offs. These have either been fully paid or settled for less than the full amount, but they're still on the report, dragging your score down. And lastly, you have transferred or sold charge-offs, which are often passed to a third party, like a collection agency. These often contain the most reporting errors and create openings for deletion. Now let's talk about the structure of the dispute process. This is where most people mess up. They jump straight into sending dispute letters saying the account is wrong and needs to be deleted. That is not the right approach. You do not want to give them all your ammunition up front. If you start by saying this date is wrong and this balance is wrong, they will just update the information and now it becomes verified and locked in. You've lost your leverage. The dispute process should always follow the three-round structure. Round 1 is your procedural investigation request. Round 2 is your reinvestigation complaint. And round 3 is your factual dispute after round 3. If the account still isn't deleted, you enter rounds 4 and beyond using additional inaccuracies and reinforcements until the account is gone. Let's walk through each round in detail. Round 1 is the procedural investigation request. This is where you tell the credit bureau that you notice potential inaccuracies on your report and that you want them to perform a proper investigation into the account. You do not specify what is wrong. You do not list any errors. You simply request that they verify the accuracy and completeness of the reporting. You include your ID, your social, and a utility bill or bank statement as proof of address, and you include the account name and number. Nothing more. You can send this through certified mail. You can send it through the CFPB website, or you can file it through the Better Business Bureau, which is becoming more popular as the CFPB has started limiting their dispute capacity recently. Once you send round 1 and receive a response saying the account has been verified, that's when you send round 2. Round 2 is your reinvestigation request. This time you are saying you disagree with the results of the initial investigation and you are demanding a reinvestigation under Section 611 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. You are also asking them to provide the name and contact information of the entity they verified the data with. You still do not give any factual errors, yet you're only applying legal pressure and setting up your third round. You include the same attachments as round 1 and you send it the same way. If they still verify the account after round 2, then you move into round 3. Round 3 is where you finally present your first factual inaccuracy. This is where you go back to the credit report and find something that is undeniably wrong. Maybe the payment history still shows charge off every single month, even after the account was closed. That's illegal. Maybe the date of last activity changed over time. Maybe the balance is different across bureaus. Maybe the account shows as sold but doesn't reflect a zero balance. Any of these are factual errors, and all of them are grounds for deletion under federal law. When you send this round, you include a screenshot of the inaccuracy along with your ID, your social, your proof of address, and your 3-sentence dispute message. You identify the account, explain the error, and demand deletion. That is the format for every factual dispute going forward. If the account still remains after round 3, you move into rounds 4, 5, and beyond using other inaccuracies from the credit report. Each time you find something new, you submit a new dispute with that factual error attached. Maybe now you use the date of first delinquency. Maybe you show a misrepresentation of the charge-off status. Maybe you find that the account is not reporting consistent open and close dates across the 3 bureaus. Whatever you find, you use it one at a time, each time attaching documentation and demanding deletion. This continues until the account is removed. Let's talk real quick about where the law backs this up. Section 623 of the Fair Credit Reporting Act states that furnishers of information, meaning creditors, are not allowed to report any information that they know or should know is inaccurate, and if a consumer notifies them of a dispute and they confirm the info is inaccurate or unverifiable, it must be deleted or corrected. And under Section 611, the Credit Bureau must perform a reasonable reinvestigation within 30 days of your complaint, and if they cannot verify the account, it must be deleted. No exceptions. That's the law. This is why documentation matters. Every time you file a complaint, you include ID, social proof of address, and starting in round 3, screenshots of the inaccuracy. This builds a paper trail. If they ever try to say your complaint wasn't valid or didn't contain enough evidence, you've got them cornered. And if you ever need to take it further or sue for failure to comply, you already have a documented case file ready to go. Now let's talk about how to file these disputes through the Better Business Bureau, since that's one of the methods we use most right now. Go to the BBB website, select File a Complaint, choose the option that says you want to resolve a business issue, and select No for all the standard questions about refunds, warranties, or healthcare services. Then fill out your personal info and upload your documents. Include the complaint message for the current round, whether it's round 1, 2, or 3, and select Correction to Credit Report as your desired resolution, then submit. You'll receive a confirmation email from the BBB, which you must verify, or else the complaint won't be processed after that. The Credit Bureau will respond within 7 to 10 days, and you can move to the next round. This method is effective, but it only allows one bureau at a time, so you'll have to repeat the process for Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax separately. If you prefer to use the CFPB method that still works as of the time of this video, it allows you to dispute all 3 bureaus at once, which can save time. But sometimes the CFPB response process is slower or gets blocked depending on the volume of complaints, so have both methods in your toolbox and use whichever is more effective at the time you're watching this video. And of course, if you don't want to do any of this yourself, the network offers the full credit sweep as part of the Mentorship Program. You'll get the entire dispute process handled for you from round 1 through round 5, plus bonus credit education and strategy mentorship. Includes lifetime access to message me directly on iMessage, a full trade line source for both personal and CPN credit, a full document source for name, DOB, and SN creation strategies for getting iPhones and high-limit funding on business and CPN profiles, and real liquidation plays to turn credit into cash. And yes, the sweep service is included in the mentorship for a limited time until June 15th, 2025. After that, it goes back to training only. If you want this handled start to finish, message the network on Discord right now and get onboarded. If you're someone who prefers to do it yourself, this video gave you every step you need. Save it, replay it, organize it, and treat this like a case file. Get your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. Look for inaccuracies, map out rounds 1 through 5 in advance, and prepare to submit each round with full documentation as soon as the previous one is responded to. Credit repair is not about tricking the system. It's about knowing the law and using it to correct inaccurate data. And if you follow this process and you're consistent and you stay organized, the deletions will follow. This is the network, and I'll see you in the next video.